8, 6, 5.
Deuxième, troisième, quatrième, et là c'est sa chance.
Et voilà comment ça se passe. Regardez.
What up?
What up?
I wonder if he forgot.
No. He knew. I think the food was just late or something.
We can watch him losing at Luca. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I was playing first Half-Life. I didn't even know that it changed so much. I wasn't really looking into that game later.
The first Half-Life was always like this, but it took a while before people figured it out. Yeah. Yeah, it's that one, the crossbow and the MP5 grenades was a big chunk of the game. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that and they had the Gauss rifle. That was Half-Life's equivalent of it should be.
Let him eat. Or let's play him losing at Luca. Maybe it will make him come fast. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Half-Life Deathmatch was great.
You can rocket jump with everything here, or what?
Yeah. you can do it, but it's not worth it. You waste a lot of health, and this gun doesn't take any.
So it's all only used for rocket jumping,
No,
or
you
it's
can
normal weapon?
also shoot through walls with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it looks like you can. Yeah, definitely you can push yourself from further walls than with rocket jump.
Yeah. It's way more efficient.
Yeah, that must be awesome. Oh, I wonder if there is a defrag in Half-Life. Is there? With that weapon, that would be awesome.
I don't think it had like a defrag mode in itself, but it had a lot of trick jumping maps and like surf maps and stuff. No, it existed for Half-Life as well. It's all dependent on the same thing that was a server variable called friction. Probably because the upload is old.
Hailing from the UK, winning $3,750, we've got GaRpY Marshall.
How old is
Coming
he?
from Russia, again winning $3,750, we've got Lexa Nestorov.
Oh.
Coming from the USA, winning $3,750, we've got Jared Chaotix Kugno. From the US,
behind, but Jonathan again, like a snake, sliding through DM Psycho, Deathmatch Psycho here, and here's the spam, grenade, rockets, oh, Fatality's got the high ground, and goes for the kill, can he do it? Oh no, Boom shuts him down, and gets the first kill of the game. Man, he's on the scoreboard now, 2-1 in favor still of Fatality.
Indeed, Vu's managed to pick up the gold armor now, and Fatality really is in trouble as Vu spots him once again in the central lobby area. That is a big part of this map, the center of the map, and you see a lot of hot action around there. You can see Vu now moving into the twisted staircase, looking for that mega health, picks it up, giving him a big double stack with 200 health, 200 armor, and he's now going to try and tie up this game. He is still 2-1 behind, but he will try desperately to get through this one. There is the meet up in the central lobby area once again. Vu not managing to register a kill. The game remained at 2-1 in favor of Fatality with 11 minutes, 34 seconds to go in this first map.
Absolutely. A couple things I want to remind you guys here. MTV Overdrive, and yesterday we had two fantastic days on MTV Overdrive covering the semifinals.
I was just told you aren't heard. What? Have you fixed that?
It was just an amazing, groundbreaking thing as the entire nation of the world, the United Nations, dialed in.
I muted myself all that time. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Only you guys heard me. The stream didn't.
Oh, okay, since when?
That's the stream, I guess.
Yeah. Because I mute the microphone in OBS, but I forgot it. God damn it, dude.
Don't forget, if you're not familiar with
Okay, here we go again.
Fatality was knocked down
No,
into the losers
I'm not gonna
bracket of
repeat
this
everything I said.
tournament, which means now win against Vu.
Start over, dude.
In one game,
That'll be
two
awkward.
games. Vu only has to win the one. This is Vu's map choice, and obviously Fatality.
I want GaRpY to be here so we can start.
Try and keep this lead. We're now 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, I was showing you guys the game modes that GaRpY was known for, the games. So we started with Half-Life Deathmatch,
once again.
It was a gameplay of GaRpY that we were watching, and now we're watching CPL World Tour. It's not GaRpY playing. I don't think there's any like footage of us playing. This is the only footage you can find of the CPL World Tour. It was actually kind of crazy because this was broadcasted live on MTV in America.
Yeah.
Those times. Oh my god, how they're dressed. So cool.
Let's go to the where's the end?
He might be going for mega control, which means he wants the gold, wants the silver, wants.
Fatality is pretty happy when he wins.
And after Delaney spawned for those 5 seconds, and Vu once again going to go chasing after him, try and find him and get the kills. 13 to 27 points to get back in this one. 16 seconds. Can he make this one? As we hear Fatality pick up the mega health. Vu with 120, 146. He's chasing Fatality down. 8 seconds. 7.
The countdown underway, ladies and gentlemen. 3.
Oh wow, you can do my streak stuff.
Yeah, this game was really fun because of the movement.
The winner, Team Jim.
Fatality has taken it home against the odds from the lower bracket to the winner's bracket.
2005, you said.
richer. The grand champion, Fatality.
So he's here.
John,
Nice.
what happened out there today?
Wait, now I want to go back to
I'm dragging him in.
where you can see him.
$750.
Yo.
Whatever, GaRpY.
Yo.
What up, dude?
Did you have a nice food?
It was lovely, thank you.
Are you watching the stream? Are you seeing what I'm showing the stream?
No, mate.
I'm watching Fu versus Fatality Painkiller CPL World Tour Grand Final. And here GaRpY Marshall is being introduced.
Yeah, with my glasses. I've not worn glasses for about 20 years.
You're wearing my clan shirt there, dude. You didn't remember this. Did we talk about this at QuakeCon? Because you went there under Tech 9.
Yeah.
And the reason they sent you is because I refused to go. And I was in Tech 9 at the time. So they had they needed to send a second player.
They told me differently.
Of course they did. What did they tell you?
They said they wanted to send a decent Painkiller player.
You were better than me, that's true. I fucking suck, dude. But yeah, welcome GaRpY to n00bsanonymous. This is where you say thank you for having me, GaRpY.
Sorry.
You just came back from.
I'm just messing about with my headset. I'm just sorry. I'm literally just jumped on. So.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Usually, I wanna start with like very beginning. I'm always interested how people get into computer games and how that actually influenced their lives. So, how it started with you? How did you get interested in gaming?
How did I get interested in gaming? Basically, through my brother. He had a PC.
Older brother?
Yeah, my eldest brother. He had a PC, if I remember correctly. It was a P2 333 megahertz. It was like top of the range back then. That was like best that was out, so you can imagine how long it was ago. And he used to play Half-Life. So when he wasn't playing, I jumped on and used to play, and basically things just led on to from there.
So actually, yeah, like what was on your path? You said Half-Life, but did you play other games that was always FPS games?
I've pretty much always played FPS. Well, yeah. I've played strategy. I used to play the Red Alert, friends. stuff like the original Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, Command and Conquer. But yeah, majority it's FPS games.
So you're a gamer. We are all gamers, but I would like to know how that actually affected your life. What are the positives and negatives of that lifestyle?
Positives and negatives. Jeez.
Yeah, you know,
I've never really thought about that.
yeah, but like imagine that you're at the class and there are young people interested in maybe gaming like professionally or whatever. Like what would you?
Well, positive. I suppose positives are. Well, no, it's. I'm trying to
There are
think.
no
as in,
GaRpY,
like,
GaRpY,
yeah,
which
there's a lot of positives.
which countries did you get to visit because
Yeah,
you're
well,
a
that's what
gamer?
I'm saying. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, and that's what I was going to go to. But if you're saying, I'm trying to think back then when I wasn't playing professional and not visiting them countries. You get what I mean? So that's why I was trying to thinking because I could go, oh, okay, the positives are I get to visit. I travel around the world now, seeing places that I've never seen before, meeting fantastic people, playing in awesome competitions. There's a lot of positives. It's fantastic. Well, back when I was younger playing, I'm trying to think of the positive other than I loved playing on the internet. Playing games was amazing back then.
So you're always playing multiplayer games, or you're
yeah. I was always multiplayer. I used to love playing, and then I used to go on servers just to get called a cheat. If I didn't get called a cheat, I thought I was playing bad. So
This was in Half-Life.
Yeah, Half-Life and Counter-Strike was the main two I probably played back then.
Because while you were away, I actually this I don't know. It's not a frag video. It's just videos of you playing Half-Life on YouTube, and I put some on to show them like what it was like to play Half-Life Deathmatch. That game was absolutely crazy.
I loved it, mate. I've not played a game that's been anywhere near as fun. I literally played that from when I was like, I think I was 11 when I started, and then I played it till I was 17. But the game was just so fast-paced, so in-depth as well. On you couldn't just play for a month and master it, if you get what I mean. There were so many things, so many levels to that game. I remember once talking to Fatality. I think it was on the PK tour because he actually tried to play Half-Life, and I think he played it for a couple of weeks and was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna stick." He said, "I want to play a game that after like 2 weeks of constant playing, I want to be like smashing people." And yeah, he got the noobs that were playing that. The noobs were just on another level. It wasn't a game you could just jump into and then go, "Oh yeah, I'm amazing at this." After 2 weeks, it took a lot of time to master everything. But the game itself was fantastic, and like I say, back then there was so many leagues and so dual like leagues, like Premiership leagues, and it was just seemed so active. And
was this
like
for Half-Life on Clan base?
Yeah. You had like Nations Cup.
Yeah.
That was some good memories from back then.
Those were amazing. The clan-based Nation Cups. If you got like asked to be the team captain of your country and shit, that's like huge honors back then.
Yeah. But you had the HLCCL as well, run league Sunday Cups. Say Sunday Cup, Sunday League. So it was like season, like loads of different divisions, and I think there was 10 teams of 5 in each division. So it was quite active. There.
So did you like always had the back on of your head that you can become a professional, or how did you start to think this way?
I think it had something to do with the CPL World Tour being announced.
No, mate, I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue on anything professional. Basically, when I was playing Half-Life, I had someone come in and go, "Oh, you should try Quake 3, or you should try another game that's got like competitions in."
Mm.
And I was like, "Nah." Back then, I was like, "Nah, it's just a dream to play games." And people were like, "Oh no, you're good enough. You should try it. You should try it." I'm like, well, I just carried on, and then basically I got into professional gaming from a bet. I don't know if you've heard this.
No.
So
Mm.
basically, there was Team Z board. You probably remember them from Painkiller, yeah? At the very start of Painkiller.
Name him again.
Now, I think there was Jabba and who was the other guy? There was someone else. I can't remember. But it was 2 players that played for him.
Yeah.
And I played CS Source professionally first. So I played CS Source, but I didn't really like 5v5 CS too much. Yeah, I was always like a deathmatch 1v1 player. So, but I was talking to Team Z board, and he says, "Oh, we got 2. You should play Painkiller. We got 2 players here." So I joined their channel. I was talking to him, and one of the guys who knows me was like going, "Oh, I bet GaRpY can beat you if he plays this game for a week. He'll beat you." And they're like, "Yeah, no, I don't think so. Blah 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 blah." I said, "All right, then I'll give it a go." So the first guy, I played him after installing the game for 2 hours, and I beat him. Never played the game again. Then the other guy, who was slightly better than him, it took me about 2-3 days to beat him. And then after that, they both left, like Z-board, and I then started playing for them. And it went on from there. Then I met Zachabus.
Yeah.
And
he was in
from
4 Kings.
Yes, he was in 4 Kings at the time. So after meeting Zachabus, I played versus him a lot. I didn't know how good Zach was, blah, blah, blah. I just played against him. This guy I knew says, "Play this guy, he's a good friend of mine and he's really good." So I was like, okay, no problem. So I played him, and he battered me. But I literally kept playing him and playing him and playing him. And after about 2 weeks, I took a map off him. And I was like, oh. And he was like, "Geez, you're doing well. You should come to one of the stops." And I was like, "What's that? What's this? I don't know where it is." It's like CPL. I think it was the UK stop or Singapore stop.
Mm.
So I was like, "Oh, well, I'm not sure. I've never..." You get what I mean? It's all new to me. I haven't got a clue. "Do you think I'm good enough?" He's like, yeah. You're definitely good enough. Blah, blah, blah. So my mum and dad, I think it must have been Singapore, I think. My mum and dad paid for me my flight to go to Singapore. So when I went to Singapore, I beat... I didn't have a great result. I think I come top 16 or top 12 or whatever it was.
So you're not part of any team back then?
No, my mum and dad paid for me to go there. So, but after that event, Tech9 then approached me and says, "Oh, blah blah blah, play for us, blah blah blah." So I played for Tech9 from then.
We were clanmates, dude.
Yeah, old school clanmate. So it just went on from there. Then when Tech9, when PK died, I then went to Quake 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why actually Quake? What made you?
But you left Tech9 in Quake 4.
Yes, I play for All the Rage.
Yeah. What made you choose Quake?
Everyone switched to Quake. Everyone that was on the CPL World Tour was like, "Okay, Painkiller is dead. Quake just got released. We're switching to that now." Because I remember at CPL Italy, Quake got released, and that night someone in the training area, we brought some shuttles, PCs, and someone downloaded Quake 4. And instead of playing Painkiller before the tournament, we were all playing Quake.
Well, I played it because I was, like I say, me and Zach were pretty close then. So he was like, I was like, "Dave, what's the next game?" So he said, "Everyone's going to Quake 4. So that's why I started playing Quake 4. So from there, I played. Basically, it's quite interesting. So the guy who owned All the Rage back then is now the guy who owns MYZTRO.
Apex.
Yeah. No, Apex don't own MYZTRO. Potsy does. But they're like joint owners.
You were
So-
in Dignitas at some point as well, right?
Yeah, well, all the rage. Potsy, who like owns the MYZTRO, was moving to Dallas, so he wrapped the team up. But he says, "I'll sort you out in a good team before you go, so they'll look after you." So that's when he introduced me to Aldi, and I played for Dignitas.
Mm.
I was with Dignitas for I think 12 years. I played.
Yeah, you're like a Dignitas legend. Are you like Foo? If you go to like Fnatic.com and you go to like Halls of Heroes or whatever, I don't know, some fucking, and then like you have to scroll all the way down, and then there's Foo, and they misspelled his name, and it's fucking. And if you would know, dude, like Fnatic started when CPL World Tour started, basically, or right before that, and they bought Foo for 250 euros. From the clan I was in back then.
What?
And this is how they became big, because Foo was the biggest painkiller player, and this is how Fnatic got all those sponsors, and then they got to afford that Counter-Strike team, and blah 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 blah. And now if you go to the fucking website and you look for look for Foo, all you find is a spelling error and some fucking like it's crazy, dude.
It sounds about right. But Fnatic were lucky off the start because the owner of that, his mom.
Sam
And
Matthews, yeah.
Yeah, Sam's mom and dad were multimillionaires that pumped a lot of money into.
The Australian ranchers, I think. They have like one of those ranches that is like unbelievably big, that you have to use a helicopter to fly to your cows. But yeah, that was Quake 4. And you actually competed pretty good in Quake 4, right? You had some earnings in that game.
Yeah, yeah. We wouldn't say it was amazing, but yeah, I did win I won a few competitions, mainly the UK ones. I think my biggest achievement was I think I beat Cooler at one event. I think it was Louisville. But I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't great at Quake 4. I was good, but I just felt like I was working, playing. My time was always split between the two, and then at the time, I might not been working. So it's like every event there was pressure. I was like, oh, I need to win. I need to make money. You get what I mean? It's like a lot of pressures that back then there were, if you get what I mean. Where nowadays, because esports has just completely blown up, it seems a lot more easier to make money at gaming than it was back then.
Then you or the organization or your parents were taking a huge risk.
Yeah.
And like I remember competing at the CP World Tour and always being super stressed out and not able to relax and have fun. And then as soon as my tournament was over, I was out, I would relax and I would have fun, and I would be like, fuck, dude, like, it's not supposed to be like this, you know? But it's stressful. Like we were talking about the positives of being a gamer, negative of being a pro. There's negatives of being a pro gamer. It's very like there's a lot of pressure always. To compete. And to win.
and to a game becomes different. It's like if you, how can I say it? If you say you played paintballing and you played it for fun. I could play paintball every weekend for fun. It'd be amazing. But as soon as you put the job title on it as, okay, you've got to play paintball every weekend, it's your job, things seem to change. It's like...
We'll be moving to that topic. Yeah, that definitely will change that attitude to the game. But like let's stop a little bit, because you mentioned so right now the whole your time is actually consumed by training, I assume, or do you have time for some other activities in your life, like a school, work, hobbies, I don't know, ballet classes? Because you said that like before, when you were competing at Quake 4, that standard on the way. So how is it right now?
I'm pretty lucky now because I run my own business.
Oh, nice.
Yes, did try and take time off, which I did at the start of Quake Champions to concentrate on, because I thought I want to give it a shot. I'm getting older now. I want to see if I put everything, because I've always been there and competing, and I could cause upsets. And I thought, well, if I give it my all, could I actually win anything? Can I actually go anywhere? Or am I going to do the same results? So I took a lot of time off work to practice and that. Things at the last couple of months, things have been bad at work, so I've had to go back, sort things out, and just been stressed out. My mind's not really been on Quake the last 3 months, but I've sorted it. I've kind of sorted it out now. It's just things in life, you get what I mean. It's what you get when you're older, the responsibilities, and you have to. I had to go and sort it out. So now I'm a bit more chilled out. I'm coming back to practice again. But yeah, it's definitely real life things affect your gaming.
Yeah,
can't-
but
you can't-
it's always nice to have some like business going on, like other thing that you can turn to.
And yeah, and it's a part of growing up, I guess, right? Like,
Yeah.
during the CPL World Tour, we didn't have to worry about anything, basically. You come home and I would still live at my parents, and like,
Yeah, so
everything is
like
fine.
let's move to the actual topic of today's Noobs Anonymous. Like how about that training? Like how it changed your attitude into like towards the game? Like you actually can no longer relax when you're playing, or you have this switch when you like train and then you just play for fun. How is it
Yeah,
actually?
because while this interview is going, we're watching you play at EastWC last year.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, because bringing it back to like the last 3 months, you haven't been able to focus that much on Quake because of real life responsibilities. Maybe before EastWC, you were in that zone where you could actually like go full Quake for a while. Is this why you maybe won the tournament?
It definitely helped. I was gonna say I'd just come from Denver, hadn't I? As well, I just placed second at Denver.
Yeah, right.
The thing was in ESWC, I think Denver was a very big event for me in Quake Champions, because my main problem or my main downfall in my game is my self-belief. I don't actually believe I'm good enough to compete against the big names, Tok, Cooler, Rafa, and all these. I see them and I still think they're above me, and I'm not supposed to beat them. So whenever I get in the arena with them or I'm playing against them, I'm like, you get what I mean? It's like you start.
There's a
you play
mental
differently.
barrier.
Yeah, there's a mental barrier. So in Denver, coming second and beating Tok, Noctis, but beating and doing so well with all those main players being there actually started making me believe that okay, I can actually compete with these. I can actually do something. I shouldn't be worried about playing these guys. So coming from there and then going straight to ESWC, I think I was kind of like, my mindset was changing. Still a bit of doubt, but after winning that as well, it was like, okay, yeah, I can, I can compete at the top level.
Yeah.
In Quake Champions.
So that must have been a great moment for you. After all these years, GaRpY. After dominating in Half-Life, it took you 16 years.
Oh mate, yeah, winning ESWC was just winning an event. The feeling, it's hard to explain the feeling of. It's just amazing. It's one of the best feelings ever to compete. I love competing anyway. Just competing in general is fantastic. I just love the buzz, the adrenaline, and when you get them close games and you actually come out on top, it's like the feeling is just amazing. But then to actually win an event and lift the trophy in front of thousands of people it's just the after. I don't know. It's a bit surreal. When it happens, it's a bit like a dream. You don't believe it. It's like you don't even know it's happening, and then like the day after it's like, geez,
What the fuck
I
happened
actually
last
won.
night?
Yeah. Was that a dream, or did it actually happen?
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's hard to explain. Just completely.
So yeah,
Man.
tournament preparation. What do you have to say about that? Let's start with, for instance, okay, now we'll take DreamHack Winter, which is gonna be in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Little over 3 weeks. Are you already preparing for that?
I've not started yet. I'm a bit not annoyed. You get what I mean? I feel there's no point in playing the live build because we all know that's not going to be what it's basically. The game's going to change completely.
But is it going to change before DreamHack Winter? Do we?
Yeah, 100% change.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to the PTS version.
Oh,
so
that's for sure. But you can practice on PTS already.
Yes, but the PTS is going to change as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's going to change much, but so it's like PTS ain't the final version, the live ain't the final version. So you get what I mean? It's like I want to practice, but I feel like I'm practicing the wrong things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
So I think the PTS is the best to practice on because that's closer to the live build that's going to be for DreamHack. So yeah, so I'm going to start practicing. I'll be practicing PTS. I'll probably be doing a stream after this fair, play Aaron and Razy and just get used to then playing 2v2s just to practice communications with Dewey and just polish upon that, which it doesn't matter what version we play on with that, we can still practice our comms.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to about 2 weeks before winter, we'll be ramping it up. And
do you boot camp?
Yes, Dewey's actually coming over a week before winter to boot camp at my house. So we'll be playing loads of 2v2s and duels, no doubt.
So yeah, let's try to break it down. I'm trying to, because we're keeping it very general, and the topic of this episode is how do you prepare for a tournament. So boot camp is one of the things that you do 1 week before, not 2 weeks, because you don't want to. I've had boot camps where I got so annoyed with the people I had to play with that the actual event itself, because you end up going with the people you boot camped with as well, so you're stuck to them kind of. Dude, this is why I left Tech 9, because the owner and me, dude, holy.
I remember, mate, I boot camp with Zachabas.
Yeah.
But like, oh man, we had some right laughs. he wanted to kill me sometimes. It was hilarious. I just could hear him in the next room smashing his mouse to bits, and that guy used to rage so bad. I remember him shouting through the wall, "If you stank me once more, I'm gonna come in there and stab you." And I just ran after him with the stank gun. The next 3 maps. He was like, "Oh mate." Well, yeah.
So yeah, a boot camp is vital, I think, right? You want to get in this mindset of. Although, by the way, one of the big advancements or advantages of having a boot camp back in the day is you could practice on LAN against each other before the LAN, and that is a way. That's not an option anymore.
Yeah, well, I think that was internet connections wasn't so good back then either, so LAN was a must, if you get what I mean. Where now internet I know it's not LAN, but with netcode
client-side hit registration.
Yeah, it's not far from LAN. Probably gonna get flanked for this, but playing Painkiller online to play Painkiller.
I didn't play Painkiller online. I just didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay. So it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was like there was no hit reg. There was no. You have to lead your shots. You have to. So, but now with like the net code and you kind of aim roughly the same place as you do on LAN. I know you've got some things that are not the same as LAN. but
The
it's
nail gun is
improved
the
a lot.
biggest example of. I feel like the nail gun in Quake Champions on LAN is way stronger than online, because it's just way more responsive.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's projectile weapons mostly. Hit scan
Yeah.
weapons doesn't matter whether you're online or on LAN. It's the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, the boot camp, a week, maybe even a weekend sometimes.
You just don't want to burn yourself out, do you? It depends how hard you go. See, when I play with Dewey, it's like we give everything. So
this
we
means
try and
like
play our best.
10, 12 hours a day, just fucking keep going like a machine.
Yeah, pretty much. With breaks, of course, but you get what I mean. You don't want to be doing that for 2 weeks. You just burn out. You'd be like, oh man, I'm sick of this. You get what I mean? You got to do it just right. So some days we'd play like 10 hours, say. Then other days we might only do 4 hours, depending on how we feel. If we feel like, because you can practice too much, I think you start going backwards. If you're playing and you're trying your hardest, and then you can go into autopilot. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're just going and going through the motions. Then it's time to go. Okay, we need a break. We need to. Let's take an hour. Let's play some more tomorrow. Let's go and eat. Let's go and chill. Let's just talk about the game. Blah blah blah, and then come back to it. But as long as you do practice and constructive practice and just like I say, just don't burn out. Then play for as long as you like, if you get what I mean. But definitely ramp it up before events.
So this issue that I always had when boot camping is I can't stand losing, and I would lose a lot. I remember having this boot camp.
Did you ever win?
So I'm gonna tell you this story, GaRpY. I had this boot camp with Sturmy, Stellam, and Foo at Foo's dad's place. This was before CPL Summer 2004, and I was getting. But these three were like top 3 players in the world, and I was just there because I was Foo's friend. And I was from the Netherlands, whatever, I don't know. And so I ended up winning a DM Psycho from Stellam at one point. And when I won, I literally like threw my headset on the floor and I stood up and shouted and was like, yeah! And they were like, what the fuck? Like, this is just a boot camp, dude. Why are you so excited? And I was like, dude, this is the first map I win, dude. And I remember this other boot camp I had with this like random German dude who wanted to go pro, but he wasn't really good. And we played for 16 hours a day, 3 days straight, because I didn't lose a single map. And that was my best boot camp ever, dude. Just because I wasn't losing. This is why I suck.
Yeah, but you learn a lot more when you lose than when you win, mate.
No, because I get tilted, and then I don't. My mind is not a sponge anymore. My mind is a fucking steam tank.
The worst thing you can do is tilt, mate.
Yeah,
you're not only fighting you're not only fighting the opponent, then you're fighting yourself and the game, because everything just goes against you when you start tilting.
Well, but this is why Quake Champions sometimes has that effect, because of client side, you feel a lot of times with this server side background that we have. I should have gotten that quad. Why does this guy have the quad, you know?
Yeah. You just need to forget. I know it's hard, but...
I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it.
Especially...
Talking of the subject, maybe you could expand a little bit on how to manage, like, tilting.
Yeah,
because...
emotions.
Yeah.
Because you, GaRpY, like you said, you notice... that Succubus is getting triggered by your stake gun, so what do? You play stake only. So you're very aware of the effect of emotions in this game. Or in gaming in general.
Mate, I used to... It comes with experience, I think, mate. I used to tilt a lot, and... the main one is, I had a mental block, and I used to rage every time I played too good. Too good. In Quake 4, I could not beat him. Even though I knew I was a better player than him, I'd beat players that were better than him. But do you think I could beat him? I just remember every time I got in a game with him, I just wanted to murder him. And because...
He has that effect on people.
Yeah. I'd play him, and because I wanted to beat him so bad, I just stopped thinking. And then when he'd kill me, I'm like, that's lucky. Why did you do that? I was just so lucky. And then I'm getting even more frustrated. And then it's just a snowball effect. It starts, and then I might as well just gone GG and quit out the server. Because once it starts, it's like, there's just no way back. But in the end, I beat him once, and then that was it. I was fine. I was like, that's it. I've got it. It took me years, but I've done it.
So it was about taking down the nemesis.
Yeah.
Welcome Hell on chat, by the way. He's laughing at you.
He knows that's why. Because Hell always beat him. And he's like, "GaRpY, I just don't understand why you can't beat him. I can beat him easily." I said, "Mate, it's so frustrating. It's unreal." But I think that helped me a lot to realise with the tilting and with how your mindset is. I think the top players, how I can explain Quake Champions, the top players, like the top probably 15, 16 players in Quake, can all beat each other. And I think the ones that do better out of the others are the ones that have got the stronger mindsets.
Yeah.
The ones that don't tilt. The ones that, if you have a bad round or that he hits some stupid stuff that normally makes you rage, just forget about that round. Next round. Don't even want to worry about that round.
Can we bring it to your teammate, Racy, who just won ESWC himself this year?
Yeah. No, he didn't.
No, he won the Italian, sorry. He won the Italian Invitational.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of Racy's strong points, I think. His mental fortitude and his control over his emotions. At least on the outside, it's looking like that.
Yeah, from the outside, it looks like he's got no emotions. I was sitting at the front with Tokyo and John, and I actually got a smile out of Razy, and we was all laughing because it was the first time we seen him smile. It was amazing. But no, Razy's very strong-minded, and he does let things get to him, but he doesn't show it. So, and how he plays and can adapt. And because he's running in the Italian Open, was the players he had to beat was insane. Yeah. And I know he was getting trolled a lot for his play style against Cypher, but it makes me laugh. I think it's hilarious. I love it because if it was me, I'd just laugh because it's like.
Well,
if Cooler had done that, it'd be the most amazing play in the world.
It would be a meme, and they would be like, "Yeah, Cooler is so awesome." It was that. It was Cypher, the old school legend, between brackets, getting beaten by Racy in a fashion that you wouldn't want. Like even Racy was saying, "I feel bad about this win."
Yeah.
Like you don't want to win like that, and it's a huge compliment. This is what I tweeted right after the game. It's a huge compliment to Cypher to have to play like that in order to beat him.
But it just shows as well how Razy, he didn't play like that every game. He adapted to beat his opponent, and that's why he did. And well, in my eyes, that's why he went and won it.
Yeah.
Because playing Kilson, he didn't play like that. Playing Rafa, I've never seen Rafa look so lost. I've never seen it. Rafa seems to be always under control, but in that final, he just looked, I don't know, lost. I think whatever he did, Razy just had an answer for.
Yeah.
And he just played amazing. I've never seen him. I know Razy's very talented and he's an unbelievable player, but I've just never seen him play that well ever. He definitely stepped up to his game. And I remember talking to him when he got knocked to the loser bracket on the last day, and I was just saying to him, "Don't worry about it, mate. Just think you'll have a loads of warm up now for the final." And he was like, "But I'm in the lower bracket." "Don't worry about it, mate. You can come back. You're not out, are you?"
That can actually going through the lower bracket and getting that like game rhythm going and starting to feel more comfortable in the setup can actually help.
Oh, definitely.
So, Yeah, because we're talking about tournament preparations, we now talked about like mental aspect, boot camp. One other thing which we kind of accidentally touched upon when I was talking about Racy having more time to adjust to setup. In my opinion, one of the big factors whether you do well at a tournament is how good are you at adjusting to different circumstances, because you're not sitting at home behind your own computer.
Oh yeah.
There might be hardware that's not doing what you want it to do. There might be a desk that is too high. There might be a chair that is not sitting the way you want it to sit.
Yeah,
This
and then
is-
it comes down again to that kind of thing is, again, I think mental, like mentally. I was the same again when I first started competing. Wow, this feels weird. It's not like I'm sat at home. My chair's at the perfect. Yeah, I'm used to this. I'm used to that, and it's just adapting to basically you what you're given. So the people who can adapt and get used to their new setup, it helps a lot.
Yeah. I think it was a Thorin interview with Rafa where he talked about how he would keep adjusting his chair and table height and where he could have his mouse, playing on a 60 hertz monitor and stuff like that, just to stay in that frame of mind to constantly adjusting.
Yeah.
That was in the Quake Live days, though.
But there's still a lot of stuff to be gained, I think, when it comes to this, because I know that CCM, for instance, was very into ergonomics. Ergonomics, is that the right word? Like the way you sit, the way you compose yourself and like relax, and he thought like pro players should do yoga and all that stuff, because but also finding your perfect desk height, and there's a lot to be gained when we would look into that as esports, I think.
Maybe we'll be coming with our chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alaska,
I don't know about the current gaming chairs. They're just race chairs.
No, but with whole setup with keyboard and monitor, and probably you'll be getting out of the car with it on you and just driving to the tournament on that chair.
Yeah, or it all becomes like standardized. I don't know.
Nah, I don't think it's possible. Like everybody has such a different preparations.
Okay, so final question, GaRpY, because it's almost 10 o'clock, 7 more minutes. So you sit down for the final at ESWC, and your mind is going crazy, or is your mind silent, or how do you make sure that when the game starts, that you keep mentally at the right in the right place and get the most out of your game?
I think when I sat down at ESWC, I'm trying to think what I was thinking now, because you do worry about it. You know, the worst thing, I sit down and I think, oh, what if I can't hit anything?
Yeah.
Jesus, what if I can't? What if my mind just goes blank? What about if I can't time? And you're thinking about all these things, and then I just think I just need to get one frag, and I'll be fine. Or get one round. You know what I mean? You get that one round, and you're like, okay, I can do this, and then you just go on from there. So in the final, I was pretty confident going into it, and then when I got the first round, I was like, okay, this is mine. I'm here, and I want to win. So it's just, yeah, just digging in deep and just trying to keep it there. And once you're in the zone, a lot of the time once I start, I switch off and forget about the surroundings, and it's like I'm playing at home. If you get what I mean, so I'm nice
It's
and
like
just relaxed.
It's what like sport athletes, they call it getting into the zone.
Yeah.
It's like this hyper focus that you have. Everything else disappears. You like I've had instances where I'm so deep into the zone that after the match I couldn't remember the match anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it all,
Yeah.
it all elevated to some higher level or something, and like, and then watching that match back, you do plays that you didn't even know you were capable of. You're like, what the hell was I doing? But yeah, getting into that zone is, I think, very important.
Yeah.
So one thing that bothered me always is I have ADHD, so incentives for me are like a no-no because they draw my attention. So I remember at CPL Italy, I was playing Galasek and I was actually beating him, and it was going really well. And then these CPL admins started fixing the computer right next to me very loudly. And I could hear everything, and I could see movement in my peripheral, like, how do you say it? Like, in the corner of my eyes.
Yeah,
and it
you could
distracted
see.
me like crazy.
Yeah.
And like sitting on a how do you call it, the fucking stage, when you know there's people in the audience, you know, you're also probably aware of the fact, like, you've been watching the stream in between matches. You know how many people are watching.
Yeah.
You know there's a live audience. Your match is being commentated. That's also a thing for me always, because someone
I actually love it.
Really?
I actually love
Because I always
playing
feel
on
like
stage in front and knowing people are watching. I feel like I have to bring my A game.
yeah.
It makes me get into that zone. Where if I'm playing, if it's not for anything, I
Backst-
can easily just go.
Well, what if it's backstage, not a main stage? It's not being streamed. It's just you and him. Can you bring it then as well?
If I'm at a tournament, most times. But if it's, yeah, I can. But it's easy to slip out of that, if you get what I mean.
Mm. Okay, well, I think we have not covered it all, but I think we covered most of it. I would like to thank you, GaRpY, for going on to Noobs Anonymous and being part of this.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you.
Thanks for inviting me.
If the people want to find you somewhere, where can they find you? What's your Twitch?
Oh, you said that you'll be streaming in a while. We can host you. You'll stream just after that, or you need another 15 minutes to eat?
No, I'm gonna set my stream up now. So yeah.
Oh, what the hell, by the
Should
way?
be
We're watching you in a dress now, with a blue wig on.
That's not me. It's my better-looking sister.
Oh, okay.
What happened to Slash on the roller skates?
I never got to 2,000 subs, mate. So we're all right.
I love your blue hair.
Thank you. That's not mine. It's my sister. Remember?
Evil twin sister.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to find me on Twitter, it's GaRpY_UK, and then on socials, it's MYZTRO GaRpY.
Okay. Well, thank you, and have a fun stream after this.
Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Anytime.
So yeah, that was it for this week's extra Noobs Anonymous episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 o'clock with another edition of the European King of the Hill. So hopefully until then, later guys. Bye bye.
Yes, see you tomorrow, guys.
Laters.